We ended part 7 with a pattern map and an exit sign, but there's one figure inside the biblical library who complicates the entire system. Not because of the claims people make about him, because of the way he moves, Jesus. Even if you don't believe he was divine, the story of Jesus does something dangerous to fear-based religion. It makes religion answer to love. So for this prologue, we're not putting God on trial. We're putting disruption on trial. Because the question isn't only who is Jesus. The question is, what happens when a liberator appears inside a system built on control? Welcome back to God Court. The defendant is not a person. The defendant is a pattern, the charge destabilizing the order. And the first evidence isn't theology, it's behavior. Look at what Jesus actually does in the stories. He touches the untouchable. He heals people without checking their status. He eats with the wrong crowd. He breaks purity theater when it crushes real people. He stops public shaming. He challenges religious leaders who use God as a weapon. He prioritizes mercy over performance. He doesn't build his brand around fear. He builds it around relief. That alone is disruptive. Because control systems can survive sin, they can manage sin. What they can't tolerate is compassion that makes people less afraid. So the prosecution steps forward, and it sounds familiar. He's breaking the rules. He's misleading people. He's dangerous. He has the wrong authority. And then the strongest accusation of all. He's aligned with evil. Because once you can label a disruptor as demonic, you don't have to answer the disruptor. You only have to remove them. Now here's the part that should make you pause. The same label that was used against Jesus is still used today. Ask too many questions and you're deceived. Refuse fear-based doctrine and you're rebellious. Point out contradictions and you lack the spirit. Challenge the system and the devil is using you. So let's put the disruption itself on trial. The prosecutor asks Jesus, "What are you really doing?" And the defense answers with the simplest description. He's making people less controllable. Because once someone experiences compassion without conditions, they start questioning why the institution made it conditional. Once someone is healed, fed, defended, restored, they start asking, why was I told God hated me? Why did I have to earn what love should give? Why was fear the main language? Now we have to draw the line between two Jesuses, the Jesus of action and the Jesus of messaging. The Jesus of action keeps moving toward the bruised, the outcast, the condemned. The Jesus of messaging, in some modern forms, gets turned into a loyalty test. Believe the right things or burn, submit or suffer. Doubt is danger. So here's the trial question. Which one is the real continuation of the Jesus story? The one that produces compassion, or the one that produces fear? Because if the fruit of a message is anxiety, shame, and control, we have to ask whether the message is faithfully representing the disruptor or rebuilding the system he confronted. Now compare this with the Greek side for a moment. Prometheus brings fire and the ruler punishes him publicly to deter future rebellion. The message is clear, do not help humans rise. Jesus brings mercy and the system kills him publicly to preserve authority. The message is clear, don't let compassion destabilize the order. Different symbols, same mechanism. And that brings us to the final question of this prologue. If Jesus is the disruptor of fear-based religion, why do so many modern versions of Christianity function as fear-based religion? How did the liberator become a tool of control? How did the one who challenged religious performance become the mascot for religious performance? How did the one accused of being demonic become the name used to accuse others? This prologue isn't here to answer that with certainty. It's here to leave you with a clean test. Don't judge the faith by the label. Judge it by the fruit. If it makes you more compassionate, more honest, more courageous, more human, it's closer to light. If it makes you more afraid, more silent, more obedient to men who demand control, it's closer to the machine. And if Jesus was anything in the story, he was a problem for the machine. This ends the disruptor on trial and the verdict is yours.